Hey, it's Stephanie from Imbue, and Imbue stands for Empowerment and Beauty if you're new here. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different with my live that I haven't done before. I'm going to do a beauty tutorial, which seems logical since that is my background. Today I'm going to show you how to do flat iron curls. And this is something that I've had several friends ask me for tutorials. I've shared like private YouTube videos with specific friends on how to do it. And some of my former clients have had me teach them as well. So I thought, why don't I put it here as a resource for anybody who wants to learn how to do it. So I'm going to talk first about prepping your hair. And in my example here today, I blew my hair out like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago. It's been in several ponytails. It's got weird kinks everywhere. But it's really important that if you are going to be doing flat iron curls on your hair, that you have not previously flat ironed your hair straight, because once you've done that, it's not going to want to curl. So make sure that you've either just let it air dry, which is totally fine, even if you have some natural curl, or you blew it out straight, or something like that. Just make sure that you haven't flat ironed it first. So I prepped my hair before I blow dried it with a heat protectant. So this is super important because flat irons are freaking hot and you don't want to damage your ends. So make sure that you're prepping your hair and protecting it properly. Mine is the Aveda Heat Relief. You can use anything that you like or that you have at home. And then the other thing that you can use to prep your hair to help your curls to stay is a drier type of hairspray. And what I mean by that is if you use like a regular spray pump hairspray, it can come out kind of wet on your hair, which when you add heat to that makes it a little bit crunchy, which is like not what you want. So I use the Air Control. It's an aerosol and it sprays on the hair pretty dry. I use it on my clients to prep their skin, or prep their hair rather. It'd be really weird on your skin. And I don't use it on my hair because my hair doesn't need it to hold, which I'm very lucky, I know. So for this demonstration, I'm going to be using a GHD flat iron, which I think I've had for like 8 years. They're awesome. GHD stands for Good Hair Day, which is super cute. It gets pretty hot. I think it gets up to about 400 degrees. So don't be afraid of some heat on your hair so that you can help your hair to curl. Don't use a big paddle flat iron. I don't know if anybody still has those, but if you do, it's not going to work very well. You might just bend it. So this one's about a little bit over an inch in thickness, and that'll be your best bet. So I'm not going to pre-section my hair. And if your hair is between, your chin length and your waist, you don't need to pre-section it, in my opinion, especially since this is going to be a tutorial about how to do it really, really easily. So we're going to skip that step because we're just going to do easy flat iron curls that are just a little bit of bend and for a little bit of movement. So the first thing to think about is where you want your curl to start, or where you want the first little bit of bend to be in your hair. And if you don't really know, because you've never done this before, that's okay. I'd recommend starting halfway down your hair strand. So halfway between where it comes out of your head and your ends. So this is a little bit weird doing it in the computer camera, but I will do my best. So I'm literally going to take a big old section of my hair. You can see that's a ton of my hair here. And you can take sections that are a couple inches wide. That's totally fine. You're going to have to play around with it a little bit, but this is what I do in my hair every day. So grab your first little section here, and then you're going to hold your flat iron vertically rather than horizontally. So this is going to give you a little bit more of a modern curl, and it won't look as weird when you're done. So I'm holding my flat iron vertically, and the thing that you need to think about is that you twirl your flat iron all the way around, so 360 degrees. So your ends start out here, and you want them to end up here when you've curled your iron around. So I'll show you what that looks like. So my ends are out here. I'm going to twist it so that my ends are back out here. And now I'm just gonna keep even tension and pull the flat iron down towards my ends. And I don't like my curls to go all the way down to the end of my hair, so I stop before I get to the very bottom. I'm gonna let that baby cool while I keep going with the rest of my hair. And as you can see, I did not section my hair like I had said, so I'm just going to take a little chunk from the top and a little chunk from the bottom for my next couple bits here, starting halfway down, holding it vertically, turning it away from my face 360 degrees, and then slowly moving down the hair strand. So the thing to think about here, as you're pulling your flat iron down your hair, it might be, you might feel like you want to move your flat iron really quickly so that you don't want to burn your hair. And actually, the quicker that you move your flat iron down your hair, the tighter your curl will be. So if that's what you're going for, great. I usually don't prefer how that turns out. So you'll be able to experiment a little bit and see what works best for you. So now I'm just taking some pieces from underneath. Same thing, holding it vertically, turning it back away from my face, moving down the hair strand slowly, and then letting it go at the ends. Awesome, so we have some pieces over there. Now these look silly while they cool, but I swear once I shake it out, it'll make all the sense. So I'm gonna move over to the other side here and then talk a little bit about your mindset while you're going through this, because a part of what has inspired my whole hair makeup journey and then transition into coaching is that outer beauty is only half the picture. So you can spend all this time making yourself look good and still feel terrible on the inside. And that's a true story, even though it sounds really, really maybe cliche and terrible, and maybe not the thing that you want to think about all the time. But I would challenge you to think about it. And this is a really good time to do it, because when you're learning something new, chances are you're going to be a little bit hard on yourself. If you're anything like me, and I've been calling myself a recovering perfectionist, and it's amazing how often that comes up for me throughout the day. If I don't nail my first curl or my second or my third, I would be like, oh my God, I suck at this. This is the worst thing ever. I'm never going to be able to figure it out. Which, if you're motivating yourself with that kind of mindset, anytime that you're trying to do something new, it's really not a healthy way to be motivated. Motivation through fear and negativity and shame is not a very powerful motivator. So I would challenge you to not expect yourself to do it perfectly the first time as you see me fumble over this curl, because it's not that easy. Hi, Katie. Thanks for being here. And just really be gentle with yourself about your expectations as you go, and celebrate your wins. Like, that was a really great curl. You can tell yourself that you did a really great job. And if only half of your hair is curled by the end of, trying to do this tutorial, that's okay too. I love that I can chat back and forth with people here. This is awesome. So I'm going to move back around to some of the hair towards the back of my head here. And really, this is not about perfection. We're just creating a little bit of bend in the hair. So you can literally just grab chunks from the back, and you don't even need to see what you're doing. Just feel the flat iron and try to move it in that 360 degrees. Move it down your hair gently and get a little bend. And that'll still give you a really, really nice modern type of wave. And as I said before, try to be really nice to yourself here. This is a really great time for you to bring some attention to your inner dialogue, because anytime that you're going to try to do something you've never done before, chances are you're probably going to be a little bit hard on yourself. So I'm moving down to some of these pieces that are kind of in the back of my head underneath and spinning them around. And you'll notice that I don't end up quite as far up the hair strand with these hairs in the back. So the curls are going to sit a little lower, but I actually think that looks really nice when we're all done. So literally now I'm just kind of looking through to see what's still straight here. We've got some pieces here from the back that I'm going to bend around. And once you get to the back hairs, it really doesn't matter which direction that you curl them in. As long as you get a little bend, it's going to look great. So I'll pull through some of these back pieces through here and twist them around. Great. One of your life goals is to be able to flat iron and curl your hair. Oh my gosh, great, Katie. I'm so glad you're here. And You'll be able to start this video over from the beginning once I post it, and then you'll be able to see what it looks like. Now, sometimes when you're flat iron curling your hair, it gets more curly than you want it to. So I'm kind of running my fingers through it at the end here just for an example. So you can see that it's not as curly on this side and it's much curlier on this side. So I'll show you what to do with that. I'm going to start my curl a little bit further up my hair strand on this side and create some bend. Again, holding it vertically, turning it around 360 degrees and pulling it down slowly. And since it's already curled at the end, I'm just going to do that up at the top. So that just brought the bend up through the top of the hair strand. And then really the thing to think about is wherever it is that you're sitting in your hair with the flat iron and you're spinning it from, that initial curl is where the first part of the bend of your curl is going to be. So I like that a lot better on that side. And then on this side, if you end up with pieces that are a little curlier than you want it to be, lucky you, you're using a flat iron. So you can literally just run it over the top and that'll calm things down a little bit. So, oh, and this one is now very, very curly too. So you can just run your flat iron over the top, calm everything down. And I have a couple pieces left in the back on this side to do, as you can see, but I kind of like that all the pieces are a little straighter on the ends. It looks like a little bit more modern and natural. So that is my 2 cents on how to do flat iron curls in only a couple of minutes. I don't know, how many minutes are we at here? Not very many. And really, really the thing that I want you to take away from this is just being really, really nice to yourself as you're trying to do this, because it's not easy. I had to practice this a long time, and I've been doing hair for like 13 years. So it doesn't come easily. I still mess up. I practiced this before I came on camera to make sure that I could do it in this format. And it's easier for me to do it like not looking or in my own mirror and not in front of people. So I have to practice just like everyone else. Hey, Amber, thanks for being here. And so just keep at it, give yourself some grace, and make sure that as you are practicing that you really did put a heat protectant in your hair, because girl, it will fry your hair if you don't. So just make sure that you have that in there, because it's going to take a little bit of, you'll probably end up holding your flat iron in your hair for a little bit of extra time as you're learning. So hit me up with any questions if you have anything specific that you want to ask about flat iron curls. But just as a review here at the end, I'll show you one more time that the main thing to think about is you'll take your section of hair that you want to curl, hold your flat iron vertically, and you want to start your curl and clamp your iron at the spot that you want your hair to start to bend. So wherever you want your curl to start, that's where you're going to hold your flat iron. So you can see that this is where my hair is coming out of my flat iron on this when we're starting. You want to wait before you pull the flat iron down, turn the flat iron 360 degrees so that the hair is coming out in the same spot, wrapped around the flat iron, and then you literally just pull the flat iron down the hair strand. And I like to leave my ends out just so that they're a little bit straighter. It gives a little more of a modern curl. And then after it's cooled, you can kind of run your fingers through it, shake it out, and you'll have a really beautiful, nice flat iron curl. And this is great for people who value sleep over styling your hair. And if that is you, that is me too. I hear you. I only want to spend like 4 minutes tops. So let me know how it goes. And thanks for tuning in today, Katie and Amber. It was so great to see you here in the morning on Monday. And I will talk to you soon.